Okay, good evening, good morning, wherever you are and whatever time it is that you're listening to this. I have a Who the F*** Said That. Are you ready for this one?
Far away.
Ready.
Good men mean well. We just don't always end up doing well. Who the f*** said that? Good men mean well. We just don't always end up doing well.
You like these philosophical phrases about men.
Do I? Is it a...
Well, the last one was about good men and stuff like that.
Was it? I don't know. That's an unintentional link there that you've managed to uncover, because I'm not aware of it. But anyway, the quote was, good men mean well, we just don't always end up doing well. We'll find out who the f*** said that at the end of the show. So, let's get started. This is episode 228, and today is Friday, the 31st of August, 2018. Welcome to the Aussie Games Express video game podcast. I am your host, Lucas, and here with me is my co-host and very good friend, Snoogs. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, mates. Good. Happy to be back. I missed you guys last week.
Oh, we missed you.
Oh, shucks.
At least you had a podcast you hadn't heard before to listen to.
This is true. And I do have some tips about that too, once we get going.
Oh, very good. Also joining us tonight is the hard-working mother and gamer, Remutha. How are you?
I am good. Tired, but good.
Tired, but good. Hey, it sounds a little bit better once the editing has done. Have you noticed that we're all getting, like, a round of applause now? when our names are said, actually, I don't think I'd give myself a round of applause. Oh, I'm going to have to add that.
Oh, yeah, this week.
This week I'm getting one. Alright, last but not least, we have the guy that once built a machine that could teach children how to play Fortnite, but ended up being called a scrub anyway. Grejio!
What can I do? I'm just helping my ability to get to number one position.
Yeah, well, I think that's pretty harsh, though, considering you went all that effort and they just call you a scrub. But you know, maybe the like when the master teaches the student, and then the student eventually beats the master. Like maybe that's what's happened.
And once isn't that Darth Vader's line? And now the apprentice has become the master.
Oh.
Only a master of evil, Darth.
Alrighty. Right, before we start, here is this week's show in preview. First up, we're going to do video game discussion. Then we're going straight into What's That Sound? Then we got Who Dat? And then Last Words. It's going to be a streamlined show this week, but I'm pretty sure we've got a fair bit to cover in video game discussion. So, let's go into video game discussion. Alright, first up, let's give a hey to, we've got Skrill in the live chat, and we've got Fart Juice.
Welcome.
Yummy.
when Fart Juice suggested that he was going to join us for the podcast tonight, I'm like, I'm going to get to say Fart Juice on the podcast. That's something to look forward to, I guess, isn't it? All right. Let's, I just want a quick mention again. I did mention it last week, but the Age podcast, this podcast that you're listening to right now, is available on iHeartRadio. And you know, something that I clued onto that I'm going to have to update in the pre-recorded outro for this podcast, and I've been making this same mistake for probably a couple of years now. I always say iTunes. It hasn't been called iTunes in years.
But no one's picked you up on it.
Nobody has. Nobody has. It's called...
What's it called?
It's called Apple Podcasts. Because you used to get your podcasts in a specific little tab in iTunes. But they split it a little while ago, where iTunes is like your music and Apple Podcast or podcasts is the podcast thing.
That's not.
So saying iTunes, you're going to the wrong place. You can't actually listen to us from iTunes. You have to go to podcasts on Apple devices, on iOS. So I've been saying that for ages and it's wrong. I'm sure people knew what I meant. That's why nobody pulled me out.
That's actually not true.
What's not true?
You can get Aussie Gamers Express on iTunes. I just picked it up then.
Because it doesn't have a podcast tab anymore.
How
Yes.
How about we just edit this whole thing out?
No, but if you touch it, it opens up the podcasts app.
Oh, there you go. You can still get it through iTunes, though.
Well, technically, it gives you the link. So maybe they can still find it.
Yeah.
No big issue. Move on. Let's move on. It's available. You know what to do. Just search it. Aussie Games Express. All right, poll of the week time. All right, the question that we asked for this poll of the week is, can it ruin your experience to watch too much gameplay of a yet-to-be-released game that you're looking forward to? We had 184 votes. 37% said yes, I don't watch trailers. And, you know, let's be realistic. I don't watch trailers to excess, I guess is what that would be. And 63% said, no, I want to see it all. Like, you know, if there's new stuff that comes out for a game I'm excited for, I'm going to watch it. So what do you guys think? What do you, when that comes into play? You know, you're excited for a game, say it's Red Dead Redemption, there's 45 minutes of gameplay comes out like Cyberpunk. Are you watching it? Or are you avoiding it like the plague?
I guess it really does depend on the game, from my point of view. So for Cyberpunk, totally. Because up until now, we really haven't had a great deal of information about it. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a good time to watch that, because you're getting the information you've been waiting for such a long time. Then there's things like in the past when Destiny has released new DLCs. There have been times where I've watched very little, so I didn't know what was coming. And then there's other times where I've watched the full raid playthroughs and stuff like that. So I knew what was coming. I knew how to play the raids. Day one, I was there, ready to go. So I guess it does depend. I think it very much depends on the game. But for me personally, if I had to go sit one way or the other, I guess I tend to watch the trailers, because I want to know as much about the game before I sink my hard-earned cash into it.
Yeah, fair enough. What about you, Rem? What are you thinking?
It also depends on the game, but majority-wise, I think I go the other way. I think I like being surprised. I like having an organic experience when I first play a game.
Oh, sorry, a what experience?
An organic experience. I don't like to
organic,
be affected by... The games aren't always that good, but yeah, I like to experience it. No comment. I like to experience it myself, form my own opinion as much as possible. I mean, yeah, there's definitely value in knowing what you're buying, but I think for me, this is probably more so with titles I'm a little more familiar with, studios where I'm pretty confident in the quality of the game. So I'm happy to not know and then experience it as it is. I guess if I'm a little more unsure about the game, I might check out a bit more, but generally I like to be surprised.
Yeah, fair enough. Snoogs?
I watch way too many trailers. Way too many, way too much. I'm one of these people that will pick apart a trailer and go, what does that mean? Constantly looking for, just some little extra bit that could give me a little insight to it. It's ridiculous, actually.
Snoogs is the person that found balls on the horse in the Red Dead Redemption trailer.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm pretty close to that.
See,
although I haven't watched the 2077.
Oh, Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
There's 45 minutes of that. I
watched about 15 minutes.
I watched all 45 minutes, and you need to watch it.
Okay, look, let me explain where I stand on this. So I'm really excited for Spider-Man, and that's coming out next week, and they're just bringing out trailer after trailer after trailer to the point where I'm sold. I like the game. I want to play the game. No, I don't want to know about all of the special moves that are going to be unlocked towards the end of the game. No, I don't want to know all of the unlockable suits that the game's going to have. I want some of that stuff to wow me when I'm playing it. I feel like showing me all of the special moves is a spoiler, because that's the sort of the stuff that I want to be wowed by the game when I'm playing it. But then, yeah, there are things like with Destiny, I mean, you probably do want to see if it's for you, you know, the extra content or whatever that's coming out. But then again, moving across to Cyberpunk 2077, there's 45 minutes of gameplay. That's a fair big chunk of the start of the game that I'm essentially going to be reliving when the game comes out. It'll still be fresh, I guess, because it's going to be a while before it comes out.
Oh.
But that was too much. No, hang on, just wait. That was too much of a good thing. Like I watched probably like yourself, Rem. I watched probably about 15 minutes, and then I thought, I'm going to turn this off because I don't want to be spoiling this. It looked to me like the first 45 minutes of the game, which I kind of want to... Like, I'm sold on it. The game looks amazing. I wanted to see some gameplay. But 45 minutes of it was too much for me. So I turned it off.
It has the potential to be the first 45 minutes of your playthrough. It may not be, because you may choose to play the game completely differently to how the person playing the game played it. And they reiterated that throughout the 45 minutes, going, this is right here, and I'm pretty sure the reason they did it was, and we can talk about this later anyway, but I think the idea was pretty much to turn around and say, this is a choice right here. This will change how the rest of the mission plays out. Here's another choice right here. This is how we're playing through it to push the mission in this direction.
Yeah, but I don't need to see that
you'll be able
much.
to push it in different. Yeah, look, I accept that some people will watch the first 5 minutes and go, yep, it's pretty. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, and that was me. I was like,
the mechanics look good. That's all I want to know. Me personally, I wanted to see how it fleshed out and go, because you know what? I've heard this line spouted many times before in other games, and I was only talking to a friend about Cyberpunk the other day and pointed out this exact concept. I've heard games tout that there is freedom of choice to play within the game however you want. And then when you get there, you find that choice is extremely limited, is funneled down a pipeline, and that the different play styles are within the pipeline. You play those different play styles when the game decides you should play those different play styles. Anyway, we'll like I said, we can talk about that later. But
you see, the issue is not with them releasing too much gameplay. The choice is yours. If you don't want it spoiled, don't watch it.
Yeah, totally.
You have some self-control, which I did. I turned it off after about 15 minutes. I wanted to watch more. I want to see more because I really love what Cyberpunk looks like it's going to be. That's why I'm going to put that aside. I would do the exact same thing if they released half an hour footage of The Last of Us 2, Part 2. I'm not watching that. I would probably watch a little bit of it, and then I would turn it off. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I used to be, I will watch absolutely everything, but I'm being quite picky these days, and no, I don't want to see it all. I want to see a little bit of gameplay. There's nothing annoys me more than a trailer that just shows cinematics and fancy stuff. I want to see a little bit of gameplay play, but I don't want it all. Balls and all. Just the tip, thanks. Well, the people have spoken. They want to see it all. Apparently, 63% have said that. All right, I've got a couple of things I'll mention from this week. Now, I've got a busy week, so we'll come back to me a couple of times, I guess. But I'll start off with the IKEA Democratic Design Days.
Yes.
Yes.
I was in another state and I asked you about this, and you know the response that I got? Fucking Sydney traffic. I still don't know how the day went.
That's all I gave you, wasn't it?
That's all you gave me.
Yeah, well, my sat-nav, when I was leaving to go home, my sat-nav said I'd be... estimated time of arrival, 6 p.m. 7:45 is when I arrived home. So there you go. But now, you sent me an email probably, 3-4 weeks ago now saying, are you interested in this? And I saw the title saying, IKEA? What? No. And then I rang you and I'm like, dude, you need to call me back. I don't understand. What is this IKEA thing? Why would I go to an IKEA talk? They do furniture. And I got a little bit more information that it was a gaming talk. Stephen Barjo O'Donnell was going to be there, as well as IKEA's head of design, Marcus Engman. And they were there to essentially talk about a prototype that they're working on, which is a 3D printed gaming chair. You said something about scanning your ass or something like that, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, something like that.
So anyway, apparently, IKEA are working on a chair. They don't really know. It's very early days so far, so there's not even a lot of information. They don't really. In the hour talk that they gave, I reckon they may have spoke about this specific chair, probably for about 2 minutes, and that's it. It's still a concept. They don't actually know how they're going to implement the scan of your buttocks, but essentially they want to. And I guess that's why they're all running days like this, to fuel conversation and get some ideas. And basically what it is, the concept is they scan your bum and then they print your bum shape into a chair, which is supposed to be one of the most comfortable chairs that you'll ever sit in because it's molded to you already. I don't know what this chair looks like. That's about all I got from it. It was about an hour-long talk. It was interesting. It was good, where they basically talked about video games, innovations with design, with furniture for, like computer desks and chairs and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of streamers out there that sit at their desk for a very long time. Not only are they playing games, but a lot of people are working for like 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours, and sitting at their desk. So they basically talked about that. So it wasn't really anything super amazing, but it was interesting. And Barjo was there. It was pretty cool.
I was hoping you'd come back and say, oh, yeah, they scanned my ass and the chair's coming next week.
No, there's a fatal flaw in that. They're going to need a couple of scanners. Or a bigger warehouse to back up a bit.
I was going to say, did you just make sure that your nuts were pushed down so you could have 2 indents?
You know what? There's a very good point here from Fart Juice has just put into the chat saying, I feel like I don't want to commit to one butt groove for the life of the chair. That's a bloody good point. Sometimes I shift around, and sometimes I like to sit forward in the chair. Sometimes I like to sit back. Maybe that'll be eliminated with a super comfy chair. I don't know, but yeah, this is a bit of a gamble. I don't know how much the chair's going to be. Yeah.
Not to mention that, IKEA will then have your ass on file for the rest of your foreseeable.
Yeah,
like you're worried about the stuff that's on the cloud. I mean, IKEA is now going to have your ass. So
yeah,
right, as long as they give me a sticker so I can tell everyone that they do, I'll be happy.
But good luck with them to working out how they're going to implement this scan. Like, are you going to sit on a scanner? Do you have to take your pants off? What? God.
Well, I would, because that's how I game.
With your pants off, of course. But anyway, it was interesting, and oh my God, the road rage. I'm not going to go into that. Geez, Sydney roads. I can't believe that people do that kind of a compute daily.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
Oh, I am so glad I don't need to commute. That was a disaster. But anyway.
To be fair, you look at like the news and you see those articles about those really horrible road rage incidences, and then you actually go out on the road and realise, no, this traffic is actually creating those homicidal maniacs.
Yeah. But just people can't drive. It's so bad. But you know what would fix people's inability to drive? One simple thing. It's called patience. That's it. Patience. No one has any of it. That's the problem.
Sydney drivers have zero patience.
Absolutely. All right, next up. I have spent a fair bit of time, the most time that I have on this game this week. Doom. I've been playing Doom on the Xbox One X. I have a couple of things to say about it. First thing that I want to say is that Doom has absolutely destroyed my Destiny 2 experience, simply because Doom plays so smoothly and nicely on the Xbox One X. It is 60 frames, and when the shit hits the fan, and it does constantly, I have not noticed a frame skip at all. It plays so nicely. It is a treat to play that game. Saying Destiny 2, I tried Destiny 2 also this week because it was free on the PlayStation 4, and 30 frames. I'm such a frame snob. I can't.
No. Look, I'm not usually in for frames, but I will tell you, yes, Destiny should be 60 frames because its frame droppage is fucking horrid.
Yeah, and I can't remember the last time I played a game on a console that was so buttery smooth like Doom.
It is. It's silky.
It's magical. And the thing, like, it looks great. I know it's not an online game, which also helps with frame rates, but damn, that game plays so nicely.
I don't know what they've done to it, because even the multiplayer plays beautifully. I haven't really had any issue with drops or anything on that. It was always just nice and easy.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I've never tried any of the multiplayer. I've just been ploughing through the single-player campaign. Now, there's also something I would like to say about Doom is bottoms up, whoever that is.
Yes.
Who's that?
It's me.
Oh, skull.
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't really want that.
What is it?
You don't know what I'm drinking. You don't know what I'm drinking.
No, I don't. What are you drinking? Creaming soda.
Yeah, I was going with creaming soda.
What is it?
I'm not sure. I'm not. Am I allowed to advocate drinking on this show? Or?
Yeah. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a bourbon and Coke.
Oh, right.
Skull.
Okay. Skull.
Yeah. So gaming discussion.
Do it.
Shooey.
Can I just put this into perspective? Since starting the show, this is my second. So just be careful what you think. All right, okay.
It's better get a wriggle on. What was I saying? There's one other thing I want to say about Doom. That's a very repetitive game.
Oh yeah, but so was the first one. They're all the same.
They're all the same, I know, but it's just that. Well, see, the thing is, the first one was repetitive because I never made it past the first two levels.
To be fair, it doesn't change.
But yeah, it's really just a wave defense game. You just change locations after each one.
Yes.
It's also a searching puzzle game as well, where you need to go and find those keys and the skulls and all that sort of stuff. It is a great game, but it's a mindless game, and it's the game I play when I'm frustrated because I crank it up. It's got metal music, and it's got loud explosions, shotguns, and mayhem. So it's good to just unwind, but it's mind-numbing. I'm not getting anything satisfying from this story.
From the story, no. The only satisfaction is running into the fray and ripping monsters apart.
Yeah,
doing those glory kills. There's nothing more satisfying than that in that game.
So it feels
amazing.
It is a good game, but I'm very far from blown away. But anyway, I've been playing a fair bit of Doom because it's on Game Pass at the moment. Even though I think I own it on the PS4 anyway, but I don't know. I'm playing it on the X now. Also, like I said, played Destiny 2 this week, and the frame rate near killed me because I went straight from playing Doom to Destiny 2. It was funny, this is how Destiny works. I haven't played it in ages. I was 220. Hey, get 2 for 22. 222 light level, right? When I started, I did one. What are they called? Strikes. One strike. And at the end, I was 260 odd.
Wow.
Bad.
Well, mind you, I had heaps of unclaimed loot. I must have been from the last time I played or something, but I had a lot. So much loot that I had to take it bit by bit because I didn't have room in my inventory to take it. So I'd have to sort of break things down, take it, break things down, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I went up to about 260 odd in one strike. I'd be happy to get into a little bit more Destiny 2 again. It's been a while, so I'm happy to go back to it. But I don't have any of the DLC. Snoogs, you've got the DLC, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, well, we'll see how that pans out. Also, Skrill says, what is it? I've only played it on my Xbox One X and I can't say I've noticed frames dropping. No, Skrill, I'm not complaining about frame drops. I'm just not happy with 30 frames because I went straight from the buttery smooth 60 frames of Doom to Destiny's 30. For me, 30 is unacceptable.
It's dirty.
It's dirty.
It's dirty. It's dirty. In his opinion, it's dirty.
Yeah. Well,
he needs to shower after playing it.
Especially coming straight from a 60-frame buttery smooth game. Then it just... another game that I played this week, I can't even talk about. This has the strictest NDA on it, a non-disclosure agreement. The NDA was so strict that I was like, you know what? I'm not even fucking playing this game. I don't want to touch it. When I tried it, I launched it up, this game, and it had, and this is when I was playing it, the like it had my name across the screen. Do you remember when we played the beta for Sea of Thieves?
Yeah.
And it had our name, our IP address, and it would pop around the screen, right? It would move around.
Did it for that snow one as well.
But this one literally had it plastered across the entire screen, line after line after line. NDA, Luke 1, game under development. It filled the entire screen. I'm not exaggerating. The entire screen was covered with it, but it was like see-through.
Yep.
Yeah, watermarked. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was so bad that I refused to play the game. I couldn't concentrate on the game because it was too in your face. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about your non-disclosure agreement. I'm not going to tell anyone about it because I'm not going to friggin' play it. Like, how stupid is that? I understand, and I don't understand why this particular game needed to be so heavy-handed with the NDA. But yeah, so forget about that one. Have you guys seen the game Dandara on the Xbox One?
I've heard bits and pieces about it, but I haven't actually looked into it as yet.
I think it's a Game Pass game. Yeah, it had to have been, because it wasn't a Games with Gold, I don't think. That's a really good game. I recommend trying that. For an indie game, it's pretty cool, because you've got to jump from wall to wall. You have to be attached to a wall, and there are enemies walking around, and you shoot them, and it's kind of like a puzzle element, because there are some places that you can't jump to. It's really hard to describe. Have you guys played Super Meat Boy?
Not so much as played.
No. But you've seen it?
More profusely at it.
Oh, yeah, you would have. It kind of has that feel to it where you're sort of using the walls to progress, but it won't make you swear as much as Super Meat Boy or anything like that. But that's a really good game. If you've got Game Pass, I recommend trying Dandara. Not a bad game. Good, like really good.
Essentially, you jump from surface to surface.
Yes, yeah, that's better. Not wall to wall, because it's ceilings and walls, and it kind of turns you around as well and goes all upside downy. And another game I played, 9 Parchments. You heard of that one?
Well, no, but the name's intriguing.
Yeah, I first ran into 9 Parchments on the Nintendo Switch. And I played the demo, free demo on there. And I wanted to get the full game, but it was fairly expensive for what I thought was a good game, but I'm not sure. I saw it on sale on Steam for about $7 last week. And I picked it up, and I was playing that today, and I didn't really want to put it down. Not a bad game. That's like, what's that game called? Where you're little wizards? Not a vampire, not a vampire. What was that called?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And you would cast spells and all that sort of stuff.
I'm going to my library.
It's like that mixed with Trine.
Trine.
Well, you don't like Trine?
No, I don't like Trine.
What Trine did you play?
No, the one that was free.
Trine 3, I think it was.
Yeah.
Trine 3 is probably the weakest out of a lot of them because they tried something new with the 3D environments, but Trine 1 and 2 are amazing games. This game, it's so beautiful. It runs at native 4K on my computer. It's so beautiful. Such a great game. You're casting spells, throwing them at enemies. You've got different enemy types. Some of them will be fire-based, so you can't use your fire against them. You've got to use ice. Some of them will be ice, and you have to use fire. And you can throw down healing potions on the ground, and then you've got to stay within that area to heal. You can throw down alternatively things that will harm you, but will also harm your enemies. So you've got to make sure you stay outside of that little area. Great game. Top sort of isometric looking game, and it's co-op as well. I recommend having a look at 9 Parchments.
Little Wizards is Magicka.
Magicka! I was going to say Magic, but I'm thinking Magic the Gathering. No, that's not right. Magicka. That's it. Beautiful.
Magicka.
Amazing game, that one too. All right, I'll have a quick break if somebody else wants to tell us about what they've been playing.
Well, I've got something you spoke about earlier with Shadow Pass. God, Game Pass.
Game Pass, yes.
So as of September 1, Halo the Master Chief Collection, Quantum Break, Avon Colony, and Shadow Warrior 1 will be included with it. And on September 5, Onrush is joining along. So there's a few little bits and pieces that are jumping in there.
Yeah, I saw that today. I watched the Randall Thor video where he was talking about the games that are coming to Game Pass next month. They're bloody good, man.
Yeah, there's also Skyforce Reloaded, Manual Samuel, Snake Pass, Jana Sisters, which is kind of a cool little running game, and Inner Space.
Yeah, that
that one is.
Inner Space is kind of like an exploration game where you're in a little plane or a ship or something, and you sort of just fly around. It kind of reminds me of Journey in a plane.
Okay.
Manual Samuel looks pretty funny. I didn't know what it was until today, but there's some deal made with the devil or something like that, and everything that this Samuel guy does is manually controlled in the game. So like it's kind of like that was it Quap? That Quap game where you've got to like control his legs and limbs individually to get him to walk and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
It looks pretty funny. Looks like a cool game. I'll definitely be trying that one out. But yeah, that racing game, I can't remember what it's called. That one looks pretty sick.
Genesis.
No. It's an actual race car game. It kind of looks like
Onrush or something. I think
yeah, Onrush is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks cool. That reminds me of that MotorStorm game. What else?
With the Master Chief Collection, you got an update a little while ago. They've redone the menu system. They've also allowed you to download the games how you want to, how you play the game. So instead of just downloading all the games as a whole across the board, you can pick and choose, and you can pick and choose which parts of the game you want to download. So it breaks it up into multiplayer and campaign. So if you only want to play the campaigns, you can just download the campaigns. If you only want to play the multiplayer, or mix and match between the games. So yeah, I think a lot of it's just a lot of user friendly stuff to just make the game a little bit more friendly. But yeah, look, it's worth it. Look, if you like Halo, go download it. It's free now.
It's a massive download if they didn't do that.
Yeah. See, I've already got it, and I've got it on, and yes, it's big. Before, you could just download which games you wanted, but you had to download the entirety of it. I think being able to break it up and download the bits that you play is that's definitely a step in the right direction. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wasn't here last week.
No.
No, because I've been running around like a madman, jet setting all over the country and whatnot. So, yeah, I got to listen back, like you said, stuff that I hadn't heard yet. And two things. First and foremost, Greg, you know me way too well. No, I'm not a fan of G-strings, but if Luke gets me one, yes, that's all I will be wearing. and I'd have to show him my basic instinct.
No!
So
the beaver shot.
Yep, that'd be more of a moose knuckle. The other big thing I wanted to ask, the buzzer noise. The Greg, what the hell was that?
Oh.
So
yeah. I'm not paying my subscription fee because you kept doing it.
I only did it like that once. The other one was like that.
Yeah,
that's my clown nose noise. You know.
Yeah, the clown. I know the clown nose noise.
Although, Greg, have you listened to the show back since it was released?
No, I haven't listened to last week's show.
I may have messed with it a little.
Maybe I should then.
Snoogs, what you heard was a little exaggerated.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm definitely going to have to go listen now.
Yeah, go back and listen to it. I may have had some creative license with the editing with that part.
Sure.
Yeah, because I was sitting there in the airport listening to it. I'm like, what the hell was that?
I forgot I did that. Oh, that's funny. Yes, definitely go back and listen to that one, Greg.
Well,
yeah, I will.
One other thing I wanted to bring up too, I've upgraded my Xbox.
Oh, yes.
You've got it now made out of Lego.
Yes, it's now made out of Lego. I don't know what it is. The Minecraft Xbox, for some reason, ever since I saw it, it just looked cool. It's just something that I thought was a really good twist on the color schemes and whatnot. And I ended up getting myself one. So with eBay Games' birthday trade-in and a few things, and I got rid of my old Xbox because it was starting to play up anyway. Ended up swapping it out for nothing. And now I've got the nice little Minecraft Xbox.
Yeah, I own one of them. I like it.
Yeah. And it makes all the little Minecraft noises when you turn it on and off, and it's kind of cool, I must admit.
What noise does it make when you press it on?
Oh, no, a sec. I'll see if we can hear it.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
What's the eject sound? It should have a sound for the eject as well.
Nah, just a standard.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Both my special editions have ejection noises as well.
Yeah, it's got the turn off one as well. It just sort of goes like when you die.
Could I get a custom Grejio sound Xbox? Yes, Skrill, you can have whatever you like. I'll get you in touch with our manager when we get one. How about a porn sound Xbox, says Uncle Chunt.
Yeah, that's when we get the Pussy Slayer 5.
Yes.
Yes.
The PS5.
Yes. Bright yellow with pink writing. And
there's a big problem with a porn Xbox though, because that thing's going to get worn out real quick.
If you touch it the right way, it turns on. Oh, we're all shit out of luck, aren't we?
And off.
You press it on and it goes, oh.
Bullshit, it goes, not tonight, I've got a headache.
Because you don't know which way to touch it. You can't go straight for the power button, Snoop.
Okay.
We learnt this when we were younger.
You got to tickle the eject button for a while.
Jesus.
It's called the Ejectorus.
Every console has one. You just got to find it.
My God,
It's a myth.
The original PlayStation 4, that one was really hard to find. Oh, dear.
Yep.
Right, anyway, let's quickly change the subject.
Anyway,
okay?
let's move on.
I played Scum on the PC. Have you heard of that game?
Yes, I want to know all about it. Tell me.
All right. Now, it's one of these games where I've looked at and gone, that looks really interesting. The price is relatively reasonable. I'll give it a go. And then I've loaded into it and gone, oh, fuck. Really? This game is a survival game.
Yeah.
On roids.
Okay.
This game, you can monitor your food intake, your metabolism, on top of like minerals that are like iron balance in your diet and all of these, that kind of stuff. Yeah, carbohydrates.
I do this for 3 kids every day. What do I do this again?
Oh my God.
To be fair, you're just playing the real life version of Scum.
If I play this, I may play it like I played Sims. Not kindly.
Yeah, look, it was...
I want to see which diseases I can die of. Let's start with diabetes.
That's it.
Let's get that sugar intake really high.
Yeah.
Slow that metabolism right fucking down.
To the point where you can have a look at your stomach contents, like if it's full, your bladder contents, you've got to go do a piss if you need to, you got to poo if you need to.
Can you throw it at people?
You know what? I don't know about that as yet, but I will definitely try.
Good.
And Uncle Chunk
Snoogs is just a little bit disappointed that you haven't already.
Have you even
There's a little
played this
piece
game?
of him that just died and went, "You're not having my friend."
I haven't played it long enough to take a shit yet, so as soon as I take a dump, I'll get back to you. But
that's fair then.
There's also things. Yeah, there's things that you need to monitor as well. If you get wet and it's nighttime, you can get cold, so you have to take off your clothing to dry it off. You can cut your clothing up and craft things out of it if you wish. You can kill... There are zombies in the game. I had no idea it was a zombie game, but apparently they refer to them as puppets. I don't know. I'm still learning a lot about this game. I don't know too much about it. You can chop up dead bodies and use their bones. So if you've got bones, you can craft sewing needles out of bone or other things. You can keep their flesh and cook it and eat it if you want. Bit of cannibalism there. And I worked out today why it's called Scum. I thought Scum stood for something, which it probably does. But I think the general consensus is that you're playing as Scum because you're an inmate. You get dropped inside of, I guess, like a real futuristic prison where it's all sectioned off, and you're basically surviving as a prisoner. So you're in your prison oranges when you start the game, and you've basically got to survive and craft and all that sort of stuff. I think it's quite a good game. It probably will burn me out real quick because there's a lot of stuff that you need to do and keep an eye on. But I'm intrigued and keen to start playing. It's still in early access though, so it's not real optimized. It's I think my graphics card is a bit of a bottleneck for it, but it's playable. That's Scum. Did you have any questions about it from what you've seen?
No, I'm just downloading it off your list.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You can play it. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
No problem. Now, a couple of mobile games from this week. Now, I understand now when you hesitated last week, Rem, you said, I'm not sure if I should be recommending Merge Plane.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, you shouldn't recommend that to anybody, because I found myself playing that game after the podcast last week for about an hour and a half straight. And as you suggested at the end of it, when I finally just said, I've just got to close it because there's no end in sight. There's
no.
Nothing's rewarding. It's just that I'm getting higher leveled like planes, jets.
Yep.
That's it. And then it's
there's no reward to this game.
It's crack. It is literally crack.
But it's the dumbest thing ever.
To this.
But it's addictive.
There's no upshot. Yeah, no, that's it. There's no upshot. You are literally taking crack. This is digital crack right here.
What's it called?
I got
merge planes.
No, don't say it. I'm gonna have to beep it out.
What is it? Show me what it is.
Nothing. Leave it alone.
It's called merge planes.
Oh, look, I was trying to be the good guy there, trying to save your life, Snoogs, but whatever.
I'm the friend that's getting you in the crack.
Just once,
right now.
Just once. Just give it a try.
I'm trying to pay off my merge plane debts.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those games.
Yeah.
I've
idle,
already
but not
got
really
cash,
idle.
Cash incorporated. That's bad enough, thanks.
Oh yeah.
God, how can something so crap be so addictive? But anyway, moving on from that. I also played a game. Oh, I mentioned it last week. I found it while I was searching games called Space Frontier. That one with a rocket ship. That's actually a pretty cool game. It's just a single one finger tap. A rocket launches, and you need to tap the screen at the right time to jettison the fuel tanks, right? And if you do it too early, then your rocket won't go up high enough, and if you do it too late, it'll explode. So you get a bit of an Apollo or 11 or whatever it was. But not a bad game. Check that one out. Space Frontier. I tried the Hungry Shark. That's a pretty cool game. The only thing is,
I like that one.
Being really good graphics and 3D and all that, that's a battery chewer, that one.
Yeah.
But that's a good game. I found another one called Rise Up, which is basically a balloon floating upwards, and you have to knock things out of its way to stop it from popping. So you need to protect this balloon. So you're swiping up the top to get rid of all the obstacles, but they bounce around all over the place, so you got to constantly make sure none of it hits the balloon or it's game over. That's a cool game. Also a game called Waves, where you're a boat that goes over waves and flips, and you got to time. You hold down the screen to make it flip, and you got to time it to get it to land right. Go as far as you can. What else was there? Bumper IO. You told me about Bumper? Smashing that game. Love it. That's a really good game. Those folks that do those IO games, they're just always a hit. That's a really cool game where you're just bumping everyone off the edges. Like I think Kaza said last week, or it might have been Skrill or someone said that it was like sumo wrestling. Yeah, pretty much. And a new one that a friend of mine mentioned it's called Table Tennis. That's a strikingly good-looking table tennis game that works quite well. Let's give that one a try as well. It's simply just table tennis, but it works good.
I've got a little one where it's a very early... I walked into that, didn't I?
Like a swinging barn door.
Yes. Smack, thank you very much. Game that I shared with you guys, but I'm not sure if anyone else actually got into it. Rapture Rejects.
Oh no, now, I didn't get into that. I didn't get a chance.
Rapture Rejects is done by the guys that do the Cyanide Happiness comics on Control Alt Delete. I think they were. I think that's what they were. Anyway, if you Google Cyanide and Happiness, this all stuff comes up. So they're pretty much like a little 3D stick figure sort of dude, and it's just like a battle game at this stage. It's only like its very first. They're just sort of trialing it every weekend at the moment, and they're vulgar little characters like they are in the comics, and you can do a whole lot of little weird emotes with them, which I spent most of my time doing instead of actually playing the game. But it's a lot of fun. Anyway, so that's they're doing a game up for that now. Keep an eye out. I have been given permission to stream the next one.
Oh, very good.
I'll try and do that if I can get on and play it and stream at the same time while it's live. I will. So keep an eye out for it.
What's it on? PC?
PC, yep.
Okay.
Other than that, I've played a couple of little games that I've picked up along the way. A little while ago, I bought Max, The Curse of Brotherhood.
Oh.
Yeah, you told me not too much goodness about it. Really.
The last time I played that, though, was on my OG Xbox, and it ran like balls.
Well, now I'm playing it on the Pro, and it runs beautiful, actually.
Mm.
It's, for what it is, though, it's actually a little bit difficult, and frustratingly difficult at points. It's like a side-scrolling platformer, so not the biggest forte of mine, but fun nonetheless. So you're a kid that comes home from school. Your little brother's being a bit of a pain in the neck. You create you Google a way to get rid of little brothers, and it comes up with a spell. You say the spell, a big monster hand comes out, steals your brother, and you go and chase him because you're not that big of a jerk. It sort of starts off like that, and then you're running along and you've got to go and chase and catch your brother. So it's actually pretty cool. You can manipulate the world a little bit. You've got a lot of just running and jumping and timing and all that sort of stuff to get you through it. So I've only played a little bit, but so far it's been a bit of fun.
Yeah, I stopped playing it because it ran so poorly on the Xbox.
It runs quite well now, whether it's been optimised as it's coming along or it just lights the extra power. I don't know, but so far so good. Yeah,
it didn't look like a game that needed a lot of power, mind you.
The other new one that I've played, I think it was a PS Plus game, Extreme Exorcism.
Extreme Exorcism?
Yeah. So it's a whopping 346 megabytes to download.
Right.
It's pretty much a little 8-bit brawler, I suppose you could call it. So you can play by yourself, and you've got little ghosts that you've got to come and try and shoot or exercise, get rid of. And then you can also play against other people as well. And there's actually a few people playing it, so it seems to be pretty cool. But again, yeah, a little 8-bit thing. It's nothing.
What are you playing that on?
Exciting. PS4.
Oh, where'd that come from? Was it
I'm pretty sure it was a Plus game.
Oh, a while ago? Or?
It might have been one of those cross buys that either from the PS3 or from the Vita.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. It was like a PS3 game, but it's PS4 as well.
Yeah, it could be.
One of them. Oh, yeah, fair enough. Cool.
Other than that, new Destiny update for Forsaken. Have you guys actually been in since that update was done?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I did it. I played it yesterday.
I turned it on and just had a bit of a quick look last night because it was still doing its update. All my characters have lost like 50 or 60 light level.
Oh, you know what I think that is? Go and check your heavy. My heavy was unequipped. Yeah, did you notice that your heavy was unequipped?
It was unequipped and it was gone.
Oh, maybe.
So the particular heavy that I was using was actually no longer in my possession. So I don't know what happened there. Well, it just seemed to...
I don't know if mine was gone or not because I don't remember what it was, but my heavy was unequipped. I noticed that.
Yeah, I was using a particular rocket launcher that I had put a shader on, and I think I'd actually masterworked it. I think. But it was gone. Yeah.
Yeah, strange stuff going on. But I also have found a little bit of I don't know if it's a bug or a bit of a cheat thing on my behalf, but the way I used to play Destiny 2 was through Reprimir's account. You know how we account shared?
Yeah.
And he had the season pass. So in playing that, I've inadvertently earned some DLC weapons, and I had one equipped.
Nice.
So I had it equipped. Or not weapons, it was DLC armor. And now, because I've got my own version of it, and I don't have Reprimir's account on my PlayStation at the moment, when I go in there, I've got stuff equipped that I shouldn't be able to have equipped, and it's telling me you need such and such DLC to have this, but it's equipped. So if I change it, I probably won't be able to put it back on, but I've got it on. So how good's that?
Nice.
Cheating.
I love that. Winning.
Yeah. But anyway,
other than that, from me, lots and lots of Fortnite.
Oh yeah, I played a little bit. I tried that score one, but I was really bad at that. So
yeah, I completely and utterly suck at that.
Yeah,
we'll have to get Skrill to carry us.
Yeah, I prefer the Flyboy one.
Yes.
I've got some news here. Now, I heard a little something about what the code name is going to be for the PlayStation 5. All right, so let's go through this here. Now, look, it's not surprising that the next PlayStation is probably going to be the PlayStation 5, right? We've talked about this before. That's very likely. But there's going to be like a working name, like we had Morpheus was the VR, and you had Neo was the Pro, and all that sort of stuff. So there's probably going to be some sort of name that they use to keep it secret when talking about it. But the code name is suggested to be Erebus or Erebus. Do you guys know what that is? Have you heard of what Erebus is?
It's the Mercedes racing team.
Mercedes racing team, is it?
That's what I was going to say. It's a Mercedes racing team. So.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. It's been used elsewhere, but that's what they're suggesting.
Greek mythology.
Yes, it is. So this was spotted by a Rostero user, which is an online forum, and this person has located code within Unreal Engine 4, which lists platforms including all of the known consoles and operating systems, with the last one being Erebus. And there's a link in the podcast show notes to that post that I'm talking about, which shows screenshots of the code. And I did a little bit of Googling to find out what Erebus is. And it says, in Greek mythology, Erebus was often conceived as a primordial deity representing the personification of darkness. For instance, Hesiod's Theogony identifies him as one of the first 5 beings in existence, born of chaos.
Born of chaos.
First 5. PlayStation 5.
Ooh.
Should we be worried about the chaos part of this, though?
Well, darkness. Come to the dark side. Buy PlayStation 5.
Does that mean you can't have a white one?
Could be PlayStation 5, the 5th place. Do you remember that? Where they had the PlayStation, was it PlayStation 2, the 3rd place? Do you remember that?
No.
The third.
You don't remember that ad campaign?
No, I don't.
No.
It made no sense whatsoever. I think it was
Probably I don't remember it.
Was it Is it David Finch? Is he a director? David Finch?
You mean David Lynch?
Lynch?
Lynch.
Yeah, that might be him.
David Lynch is a little weird. He's the one that created. They just remade the TV show.
Kanan Lynch.
No.
Oh, what is it? It's a weird. It's gone.
Anyway, yeah, David Lynch is probably who I'm thinking of, but I think he directed the commercials for it. And you guys don't remember any of that?
Twin Peaks.
Anyone?
Twin Peaks.
David Fincher. Oh, David. No, I'm not. Yeah, David Fincher was the director of Seven. Thanks, Uncle Chunt. So I've mixed up Lynch and Fincher. But anyway, I think it's Lynch. And he's directed these ads, and it was like, PlayStation 2, the 3rd place. And I was like, what? How's the PS2 the 3rd place? That doesn't make sense. I'm confused. Google it. I'm not making this up. It's
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah. It's very bizarre.
It sounds
There we go. Oh, that's right, the duck on the sea. Dude with the duck head.
That's Lynch.
Cool.
Yeah, see, I wasn't imagining
That's
it.
fucking weird.
That is some serious, straight up Twin Peaks shit right there.
It's bizarre as hell, man. If you go and watch it, go and watch the actual ad, and it's weird. You're like, what were they thinking?
That's a straight up Lynch. That's Lynch all over.
But in saying that, PlayStation 2, best-selling console ever. So, can't argue with the results.
Third place.
There is an explanation as to why it's the third place. I know, like, I researched it once upon a time. I can't remember. It was that confusing. I probably still didn't get it even then. But anyway, PlayStation 5, the fifth place. We making sense now? I don't know. All right, a little bit more news. I've got the PS Plus and Xbox games with gold for September. Now, I think you went through the Game Pass games.
Game Pass, yep.
I've got PS Plus first. Destiny 2, which is available right now. That's on PS4. God of War 3, which will be coming next month. That's the remastered version for the PS4. Knowledge is Power, which is kind of has been there for a while. That's that PlayLink game. Here They Lie, which is also another bonus game, because I think that was there last month. Another World 20th Anniversary Edition for PS3, PS4 and Vita. Have any of you guys played Another World?
Nope.
Never
heard of it.
Very worth playing. The game is probably nearly 30 years old now. And the animation in that game is better than some of the animation that you'll play in indie games today. Brilliant game. If you know how to play the game, it takes 20 minutes to finish. But the first time you play it, it'll take you hours, I promise. It's tricky. But
YouTube.
No, don't watch YouTube. That will spoil it for you. You got to play it because there's things where you're like, oh, you have to do that, and then you're like, oh wow, they make you do that in a game that's nearly 30 years old. Some of the concepts in that game would be a winner today. It's a fantastic game. I love it. I bought it when the 20th Anniversary Edition came out because I played it as a kid and never finished it because it was too hard. But adult Lucas worked it out. It took me a couple of hours, but the second time I played it, 20 minutes it took me. Okay, so Another World. Then there is Cube, Director's Cut for the PS3/PS4, Foul Play for Vita and PS4, and Sparkle 2 for the Vita. So those are your PS Plus games for September. Now the Xbox... Yeah?
I was just going to say, in relation to Cube...
Yeah.
So Cube was one of the first games I actually reviewed when I came in as a reviewer side for Aussie Gamers Express. Mm-hmm. And I cannot speak highly enough of it.
Yeah, good one to start with. That's a good game.
Yeah. And the game itself, it's very trippy, really great story, and you find yourself as you go along, and the puzzles and whatnot get harder, but the story is there to just keep dragging you further. You find yourself trying to rush through the puzzle to get to the next thing. It's just sort of, the game itself doesn't ramp you up, but you find yourself doing it. It's well worth the playthrough.
It's probably the next best thing since Portal, I think, and it's kind of got that feel to it.
Very much so, yeah.
and does it quite well. The Xbox games with gold for September will be Prison Architect, and that'll be available from September 1 to 30. Livelock, September 16 to October 15. Lego Star Wars 3, September 1st to 15th. And Sega Vintage Monster World, September 16 to 30. Now, it hasn't been this way around for a very long time, but PlayStation Plus has smashed games with gold, in my opinion, for next month.
Yeah, it's been coming, though, I think.
No, the PlayStation have had a few ordinary months, but...
they have, yeah.
It's pretty good. Uncle Chunt is a bit of a... I agree. That's all right, mate.
Fair, I think Xbox.
We've got to give credit where credit's due. Just backtracking, but I want to see what Uncle Chunt said earlier. He said, PlayStation 5, we don't play nice with anyone. Fuck you. That's going to be their slogan, apparently. That'll work.
It's true.
See how that goes for him. It's kind of like their attitude at the moment. Oh, that was Skrill. Sorry. Skrill said it. Sorry, my bad. Hang on. I'm just going to repeat that and cut out the rest of... Cut out the last bit for later. Hey, there's a bit... I just want to go back up here and read what Skrill said. PlayStation
Take
5, we don't... Shut up! You're ruining it! Hang on, I'm just going to scroll up here where Skrill said, PlayStation 5, we don't play nicely with it. Forget it. Fuck it. I fucked up. Never. Right. That's all I've got. Next.
That's all you've got?
What do you got?
The only other thing I've done this week is I played some more Narco Road. I said I'd play some more because I'd only played 20 minutes of it since the last podcast. But so far I've finished one whole area and started a second one. And yeah, look, I stand by what I said last week. It's pretty much the Crew meets Wildlands. And yeah, look, I'm enjoying it for what it is, but it does feel very disconnected from the main story and the main campaign style of play. But yeah, I'm trying to enjoy it for what it is.
News. Okay, Elder Scrolls Online. ESO is, we've spoken about my Skyrim addiction in the past, and ESO is the game that I'd love to have more time to put into it. I really would. The problem is I just don't, unfortunately, so it gets left by the wayside. But it's got a new bit of DLC. So Update 19 is included with Wolf Hunter DLC. So Wolf Hunter is pretty much werewolves.
Haven't we talked about this before?
It's released for consoles now. It's been on PC previously.
Oh, maybe that's what we talked about.
I think so.
Just rang a bell.
Yes.
Oh, very good.
And seeing Uncle Chun agrees, Skyrim addiction is a real thing.
Yeah. Why don't we name it something that's one of our segment names or something? Let's call it Video Game Discussion.
So we can no longer use that.
Yeah, because that's happened.
Well, two more things. The Battlefield 5 has been pushed back.
Yeah, I did see that. It's not a big delay though, is it?
Yeah, it was from October, I think, to now the 20th of November.
Yeah. If
I'm going right off the top of my head, that's probably, it's not too much. It's kind of expected when you get this close to it. It's probably more being moved out and left aside for COD and a few other things that are releasing around the same time, just to give it a bit of its own sort of personal space, I would say. And did we want to touch on the terrible news from the past week?
Oh, the
Jacksonville shooting.
Yeah, the shooting at the EA, the Madden tournament.
Yes.
Yeah, we can absolutely bring that up.
Yeah, well, so what was it, Monday, I think, just gone? As most of us over here in Australia were getting ready for work, news started filtering through of another shooting in the US taking place in Jacksonville. It was their Sunday over there, and it was in the middle of a Madden 19 or 18. Anyway, it was a Madden tournament. So what happened is whoever this person was, I don't believe in naming the people that commit these crimes, because that just gives them infamy. So I don't give a shit what their name is. What's happened though is they were beaten in the tournament. They've gone outside, come back in and opened fire on innocent people. From all of us here, first and foremost, it's, we can send our love, we can send our thoughts and prayers and all that sort of jazz. We can also stand united with, games around the world to try and do something in regards to these gun violence that keeps happening. But first and foremost, it's, this is just senseless. So it's something else that just needs to stop, I think. EA has released the usual things. They're focusing on people that have been affected. They've sent out their sympathies, and I'm sure they're doing some things in the background to help those people, which is always good. Yeah, what have you guys got to add?
Look, there's nothing really that you can say that makes any sense of it, but the typical old adage of America needs to do something about their guns. They're clearly too easy to access.
One thing that has started, but without going off on a tangent about gun control and all that sort of crap, apparently California's passed a new law. Has just begun that sort of process, so fingers crossed anyway.
That is a good start. Once one state does it, then hopefully some others will follow suit and become the norm. But yeah, they need to do something. Like in Australia, we've got strict gun laws, but we still can have guns. It's stupid that they're so passionate about it. Like, you're taking away one of your amendments or one of your rights or whatever. Oh, fucking so be it. Get another hobby, so people don't rock up with automatic weapons and kill people. But anyway, that's a different country. That's for them to work out. Getting kicked out of a tournament, like, that's petty and it's pathetic.
He
was ill, obviously, but the thing is that it was too easy for him to act on his sick intentions because he could get a gun. You know, one way or another, he got his hands on a gun that it was easy enough for him to kill. That happened. Our thoughts and prayers, if you're that way inclined, go out to those affected, especially in the gaming family, really, and these people have lost their lives doing what they loved. And
you know what is brilliant though out of this is that there was a gathering very soon after, within the week, and several of the top gamers got together just at a local venue in the area, just started gaming on a projector screen, just doing it because that's what they love doing, and getting together to commemorate their mates that they lost, which I thought was just the best way that they could have done that.
Yeah, that's nice. Are we right to finish up? We'll move on to What's That Sound?
Sounds good.
Sure. All right, let's do it. What's that sound? Okay, now last week I got some swears out of you, Greg. What'd you say? You wanted to say fuck you or something to me?
Something like that, yeah. I think you called you a bastard as well at one point.
Yeah, something like that. All because I played this sound. Now, I noticed this week that it actually plays that exact sound when you find a collectible in Doom.
Yes, it does.
Doom 2016, because that was the soundtrack from Doom, the original Doom. There you go. Uncle Chunt is on the ball. Well done. And Fart Juice was, what the fuck is that sound? Was a hard one. Was a hard one. If it's not fresh in your mind, those ones are tricky. All right. Uncle Chunt on the ball with balls in hand. Boy! Kazagol got it last week. Well, you did, but you deleted your answer because you thought you were wrong. Or you thought you were right and didn't want to show it to everybody else. One or the other. I'm sure he wants to go with the latter. All right, you ready for this week's What's That Sound?
Fire away.
All right. Who knows what that sound is? Ooh, Uncle Chunt's onto something here. A start-up on something. It's definitely not on my Victor lawnmower. Kazakol says Ubisoft.
It's not familiar. The sound of an Xbox starting up.
No, it's not. Have a listen again.
Who knows these days?
Well done, Fart Juice. You just advanced to level 2.
Is it like this? Is it like the sound file that runs over like a developer just before a game starts or something like that? You know?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you mean. Yeah, but no.
It's kind of what it sounds like, or maybe a power up or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know the sound. I'm just guessing as to what it could possibly be.
There you go, Squirrel.
Squirrel. You get that one, buddy? You had that one lined up for him too.
No, I just had to find it then. I knew I had it somewhere. All right, have a listen to this week's What's That Sound again.
Is Is it from Medieval?
No, I've never played Medieval. No, it's not from that.
It's got that old school platform, 3D platformer kind of vibe to it, but like.
Yeah, I'm with Chunt. I'm thinking an old Ubisoft something.
I'm on the Ubisoft train as well at the moment. An old one. Kazakol says Metal Gear, LMAO. Nope, none of those are correct this week. Unlucky. Oh, well, if anyone listening, if you think you're bullshit, shenanigans. If anyone listening at home, if you think you know what this week's What's That Sound is, then send us a message to our Facebook page or chuck it on our Discord. And if you're correct, we'll praise your amazingnesses. Skrill. Hey, Fiverr, what's that place with all that goofy shit on the wall?
What, you mean shenanigans?
Oh! Great movie. All right, well, there you go. There's another tricky What's That Sound for this week. Let's move on to the next segment.
Who dat? Who dat? Who dat? Who dat? Who dat?
Nine.
Oh, and just as before, though, the intro that I add has you saying it 1,000 times. So it doesn't really matter if I get you to say it, but why not? That's fine.
The live version is for the people listening in.
That's right. It's for those listening right now.
They don't hear the intro until they re-listen to it. So.
That's right.
Unless you sit here and go, who dat, who dat, who dat.
Back to the chat from... All right, shut up. Back to the chat from the last segment. Uncle Chant is losing his mind because he can't work out the What's That Sound. And they're still trying to guess. It's not Sega. No. All right, let's go with the first Who Dat. In my first game, I was sealed away only to be awoken 500 years later.
Dracula.
Doom Guy.
Doom Guy. Not Doom Guy, not Dracula.
Who dat?
Who dat?
For me.
Who dat?
Right, I am considered a black sheep of the Umbra Witches.
Geralt.
Umbra Witches.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you knew what the Umber Witches are, you'd be like, of course, it's that. But
Ooh.
I don't know who the Umber Witches are, so.
Don't look at the chat, because Uncle Chant knows who it is. Well done, Uncle Chant. Smashed it.
He's beat us to it.
Right, I am very talented in bullet arts, and I possess the left eye of darkness. And no, it's not Lisa.
No, who that?
My real first name is Cereza.
Is that her first name?
Oh, so you read the...
I've got it open. That's why I haven't said anything. I've got the chat open in front of me.
Yes, that is this person's first name. I was born in 1411.
Who that?
I can take the form of a crow, a bat, and a snake.
Oh.
I presume not all at once.
Beware, man, bear pig.
Bayonetta?
Yes, it is Bayonetta. I have long flowing hair. I fight with my hair and also use it as my clothing. I am what some people would refer to as the star of a game that is very similar to Devil May Cry. I am Bayonetta. Very good. I'm impressed, Uncle Chunt. Well done, buddy. You got that very early on. All right, so the next. This one's a short one, so let's see how good you are with getting this one.
Mario.
Okay, the next one is... No, I'm just kidding. That's not correct. I am the main protagonist... Hey?
You forgot to say coin, Snoogs. Yep.
Mario Coin, that's right. I'm the main protagonist in a game that was first released in 1994 on the Mega Drive or the Genesis, depending on where you're from.
Good that.
I have superpowers given to me from my super suit.
Mega Man.
That's what I was thinking, Mega Man.
Not Mega Man.
No.
Damn.
Who that?
Don't look at the chat again. Uncle Chunt. You guys minimise the chat because Uncle Chunt's good at this game. All right, presuming he hasn't given you the answer yet. My sidekick's name is Snot.
That one would have got it for me.
Oh, so you have looked at it. Stop looking at the friggin' chat, Snoogs. Turn it off.
Fine. There you go.
You're ruining the game for yourself.
Chunt's ruining it for me.
Well, you don't have to look at the chat. I will keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Oh, bloody incompetence of these people. Right.
Shocking. You have a week off and come back with this crap.
Oh, no, listen to you. Bloody hell. Yeah, he's been a real chunt about it. No, it's not Chunt's fault. He knows the answers are getting suggested in there. Stop looking at it.
He's just playing the game.
All right, next. I constantly have to save a princess named Princess. What's her name?
Drunk Mario.
Is this still...
It's a me, and I think it's a fruit of some kind.
Is this still a game for you guys?
Yeah, we're just dicking around.
Okay.
I don't
no.
know.
I mean, you guys don't know the answer.
No, I don't know the answer.
No.
Okay, good. Okay. I also had a TV show where I was voiced by Dan Castellaneta.
Mm. Is it Earthworm Jim?
It is Earthworm Jim. That is right. My games have a thing for cows and fridges. I am Earthworm Jim.
Nice.
All right, let's see how you go on this third one, Snoogs. Minimise the chat. Do yourself a favour. All right.
It's done.
I am an American former journalist, TV personality, and foreign correspondent.
That chick from Alone in the Dark.
Joanna Dark? No.
Joanna Dark? No.
No.
Who dat?
Okay. Who dat?
I play the female love interest of the main character in my games.
What's her name? Who dat?
I am no damsel in distress, though. I am very much capable on my own.
It's Leon's missus.
Who the fuck is Leon?
From Resident Evil.
Oh, no.
No?
No.
Air or something?
Leon Kennedy, no.
No?
Who dat?
Okay.
This one's got to give it away. I have referred to myself as last year's model. As a call, Rebecca. Rebecca Chang? Or is that who? Oh, I don't know. No, that's not who that.
Last year's model. No.
Oh, from Dead Rising. Gotcha.
Who dat?
No. Who dat?
Who dat?
I am voiced by Emily Rose.
Oh, yes. Who dat?
I thought you were going to have it. Uncle Chunt's onto it again. He's got it. Uncle Chunt on fire.
What's the next one?
All right. My daughter's name is Cassie.
Yeah, okay. Elena.
Elena who?
Yeah. Drake.
Yeah, okay.
I can't remember a non-married name.
Well, that's what a name is now. I'll take Elena Drake. it was.
He also accepted Uncle Chunt's answer of Drake's woman.
That's what he said. Hey.
I have become very understanding of the outlandish adventures of my husband gets into. My initials were EF and are now ED. My husband's best friend's name is Victor, and I am Elena Fisher / Drake. There you go.
Kitchen worker. Bloody Kaz.
Drake's kitchen worker. Very good. I am really impressed, Uncle Chunt. Uncle Chunt knows he's who dat. He got it before anyone on every account. And Kazakyle, by saying Uncharted, that was very likely a guess. Because we're looking for the name of a character. Oh dear, I don't even own a PlayStation, says Uncle Chunt. Oh, well, one day you'll be a gamer and you'll get one. That was whatever this game is called. What is it?
Who dat?
Let's move into last words. Alrighty, let's find out who the said that. Right. Good men mean well. We just don't always end up doing well.
It popped into my head.
What popped into your head?
Where it was from. I knew I'd heard it somewhere.
Oh, where is it?
Dead Space. I'm not sure if it's Isaac that says it, though.
Did you really remember that?
Yes, because you've used it before.
No, I haven't.
I don't know if you've used it as a... I don't... No, you've actually... Yes, you have.
No, this is what I'm saying. We've had this style of quote before, and that was what you guessed last time. And there was this big discussion about it, and then we all worked out what that is. And now you've managed to use that quote, and this time you got it right.
No. The one you're thinking about is the Half-Life 2 / Bioshock one.
Oh, is that it?
Was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but still.
But this one is from Isaac, because I was playing it the other week.
It is, that is correct. Uncle Chunt, I missed the question. It's not a question, it's a who the fuck said that. So it's a quote, and you have to tell us who the fuck said that. And this one was, good men mean well, we just don't always end up doing well. And that was Isaac Clarke from Dead Space 3. Did you know why it's not in Dead... He didn't say that in Dead Space 1? Extra points, tell me.
I don't know.
The easy answer to that is... Isaac did not speak in Dead Space 1.
Yes. Because he did.
Guess I'll be,
that's right, Cass.
Guess I'll be missing those points then for whatever I'm winning at the end of this point round.
The points that don't matter. That's right. Isaac forgot his lips on Earth. Yeah, that's right. Greg, we need a code word.
Code word.
Last week we had burping button. Lovely. What's a new one?
I'll just do some digging and you guys talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, under pressure. Oh, you guys got any last words?
Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead.
So when the podcast comes out, it will be Father's Day here in Australia.
It sure will.
I want to say happy Father's Day to the three of you, as you know, you're all men of the hour for the day, and to any of the dads listening in, I hope that you all have an awesome Father's Day with your families and Wilt.
Well, thank you very much.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you've made a mention about talking about who our favourite fathers in gaming would be, but the only ones that I could think of were fucking terrible. Like Todd from Detroit, and then there was also like Father of the Year from Heavy Rain that managed to get one kid run over and the other one kidnapped by a serial killer.
Ethan Mars.
Yeah, Ethan Mars, that's him.
Ethan Mars.
Jason.
What about
Sean?
Joel? I thought you would have gone for Joel.
Yeah,
Joel.
He's a great father figure, Lana.
Well, he also got his daughter killed too.
What about Kratos?
Kratos!
I've got a
boy.
I have a list. I actually have a list.
Oh, okay.
So John Marsden, he might have been a bad guy, but he at least stood up for his family and sacrificed himself for his family.
He came good.
We do have
he
Kratos.
was a good guy in the end.
Yeah, he was. Yes, Kratos was on my list.
Was John Marsden a good guy because he was holy? Can't have Father's Day without a dad joke.
Dad joke, yep.
I also have BJ Blazkowicz. He has twin daughters now.
Oh, yeah, and they're pretty hot.
And they are pretty hot.
Spoiler alert.
There's Bowser from Mario. He has Bowser Jr., who he's taught all his evil ways to. Now, look, not all of them are good fathers, but they're still fathers nonetheless. So we have Hayachi Mishima from Tekken.
Oh, yeah, terrible. Nothing like throwing your son off a cliff or into a volcano, right?
Exactly. I did have Ethan Mars as well, and I had Eli Vance from Half-Life. And then I had two surrogate fathers, one being Joel and the other one being Lee Everett from The Walking Dead. So there you go. Some father figures of gaming, and we wish them all a happy Father's Day as well. So if you're looking for a Father's Day game to play on Father's Day, you could play Red Dead Redemption, God of War, Tekken, Heavy Rain, Wolfenstein 2, The Walking Dead, The Last of Us, Mario, or Half-Life.
I recommend not not playing Heavy Rain or the start of Last of
Last of Us,
Father's Day.
Especially if you've got daughters. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No.
Oh, the sadness.
So, code word. I'm going with rear ports.
Rear ports.
Yep.
Oh, those rear ports were always hard to reach, and because you can't see, you always got to feel around for them first, and you end up putting it in the wrong port.
Yeah, I was tossing up between that and the eject. What do you call it? The
Ejectorus.
Ejectorus. I will. Actually, I've decided. I think Ejectorus is much better.
As a code word.
Yeah.
Ejectorus.
Ejectorus.
Jeez.
Oh, that's it. If you're finding that you're trying to eject your game and it won't spit it out, just caress that Ejectorus button a bit. Use your tongue.
All right. One of the last word. People in the chat right now that are listening in, can you guys tell me, do you have Game Pass? Kaz, do you have an Xbox? No, he does not. All right. Well, this isn't going to work for you two, because this is at the end. Last words. I have 2 codes here, which I'm going to read out. They are for 1 month free of Xbox Game Pass. If you have used Game Pass previously, you cannot use them. It's only for like a trial thing, people that are new to it. So whoever's listening, get in, try it out. It doesn't matter when. Have a try of the code, see if they work for you. So the first one is 7HRH4 XWX6J G9QTQ H2T37 WVQ7Z. And for that again, hit the rewind button. Other one
I think Kaz has just written it in the chat.
Kaz just typed that out in the chat.
Good on you, Kaz. Next one is 6464T 6RDMT QJDKF 4QQ26 KRVHZ. There you go, people. Enjoy them. Get stuck into them. If you get a hold of it, let us know in one of our chats over on Discord or on the Facebook page, just to let us know you're having a bit of fun with it. And please enjoy.
There you go. Well, the people listening live obviously get first dibs, but if they don't take it, someone else can have it, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked them, because they've all got it.
So they can't use it.
Already got it. No.
I wouldn't put it past fucking Kazakol to go and make an account. Don't do that. That's a jerk thing to do. And you're a nice guy, Kazza.
So I was going to say, we did say we were going to talk about Gamescom this week, but we haven't gotten around to it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through my notes very quickly and give people the highlights of what they should go YouTube. There's some good stuff to look at. So my first is definitely Cyberpunk 2077, because there's a new gameplay trailer out. Obviously, if you're like Luke and don't want to see the whole thing, you watch it with whatever. Metro Exodus has a trailer to watch. Essentially, the crux of it is they're making it more of a survival game again, and it's very based on stealth and scavenging. So that's worth a watch. It's kind of pretty. Resident Evil 2, the remake, the remaster. The crux of that is the main thing is the camera position. It's no longer a detached camera. It's the person over the shoulder. Other than that, it looks really good. The buzz is really good. So have a watch of that. My last video you should probably pick up on is that I watched and thought was really cool was the new Ace Combat 7. It's pretty much the way I describe it is Top Gun beats Bandai Namco, and I mean Kojima Bandai Namco. It's legit, feels real, feels good, but then it's got that feeling, that Kojima feel about it, like it does in Metal Gear. Anyway, it's very intense. It's got a good gameplay trailer. Definitely check it out. The only other 2 bits that you probably won't get, you might get videos on, but I just thought that'd be interesting tidbits. Turtle Beach is bringing out 3 new headsets. It's called the Atlas Series. They're sort of aiming at the esports crowd, but anyone can get them, obviously. They're moving away from glary colors and going to a black and metallic look and improving the strength with slightly more internal metal construction. Same with Playtronic. They're also doing the same thing. They're going for an esports crowd with the new Rig series, 500 Pros being the top of the line there. They're also creating a range for younger gamers, what has been nicknamed the Fortnite Crew. It's an open cup design. It's got things like volume limiters to protect the younger ears and their hearing. Also got low isolation settings on them to help them being able to hear outside noises. So, come and clean your room. It's time to get off and stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty much my rundown of my 30-second rundown of Gamescom right there. Definitely check out those videos. They're pretty cool.
Nice, will do.
Like there's heaps of other stuff, but just search Gamescom. You could spend all day there. It's really good.
All right, now, is that you guys done? Got everything?
Done and dusted, bro.
Good.
Yep, I'm spent.
Okay, now I have a big announcement to make. Make of it what you will, but this is quite a big announcement for me. Uncle Chunt is typing. This should be good. What's he going to say? I'm going to wait for it. Oh, he's going to do that thing where he's now just going to stop typing, I bet. Oh, here we go. Leans in intensely with respect. This is my last podcast. I'm quitting the podcast.
I think glass is shattered.
Okay. Thanks for giving us a heads up before.
Yeah, well, the only person I just was a final decision made today, something that I haven't taken lightly, though. I've been thinking about it for quite a long time. And I spoke with Snoogs about it today. And I've decided to finish up. This is my last podcast. However, I'm not severing ties completely. I will still be doing the editing for the show, and I will still be an active part of Aussie Games Express. I'm just not going to be the podcast host anymore. Snoogs has taken on that reins. He's going to be taking the hot seat. And as Kazakol has suggested in the chat, yes, I'll do special guesting. I'll come on the show if I've got something specific to say. So I might be reviewing a game or something like that. I'll come on and talk about the show. But Snoogs will be running things from here on in. I'm out.
Wow. Drop much.
Wow.
I've been doing doing the podcast for like how long's it been? 6 years?
6 years or something, yeah.
Yeah. I've got a fair bit going on in my life at the moment. A lot of stress, a lot of time being taken up, and I just need to take a step back. And can we have a segment called Lurking with Lucas?
Definitely, Skrill. I think we can work that in somewhere. Can I just point out? Let's point out the love here for a little bit. So for Lucas, you've dropped this bit of a bombshell.
Yeah.
And then we get from Chunt, oh shit, Kaza, what? Skrill, Uncle Chunt, explosions. Kaza drops table, Skrill flips laptop. Kaza gets his noose. So it's it's a big bit of a shock. I was speechless when we were talking about it today, but as you said, you've got a lot happening on at the moment, and it's not like you can't ever come back. It's always here for you, but we'll still keep carrying on. It's something that over the years that I've been doing it with you, and that I've been doing Age in the background as well. The podcast has become very close to my own heart. So if you guys are happy to do it with me, I don't really want to let it go.
No, of course. No, we'll be here next week. Don't worry about that.
So, look, and the way I look at it is that with a lot of things in life, I never say never. So I'm not saying I'm never coming back, but it's indefinite. I'm leaving indefinitely. I don't know when, but I'm definitely going to be coming back for certain things, you know, for specials and things that we'll talk about or whatever as a special guest. But yes, there's a bit of a bombshell for you. Quitting the podcast.
More than 2 weeks, mate. It'll be hard to get the power back off me next time.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll...
You pry from my cold dead hands.
Maybe I won't. Maybe that won't happen. But yeah, so Snoogs is going to be taking care of that. Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say, by the way, lurking with Lucas, that's just going to be called Lucas editing, where he just drops in his comments, edits in his comments wherever he wants, like he has previously.
Yeah, that's totally going to happen.
Wait. Editing Lucas here. Snoogs, stop changing the fucking names.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yes. No. Editing Lucas will still be alive and well. Very, very likely that will happen. But Snoogs, I've handed the show over to you now. Change the names if you want.
Next week no one's going to know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah. And now
including us.
Yep.
Video stuff talking.
Sound guesser.
Sound guesser.
We all remember what happened when Lucas took a holiday the other week ago. Yeah. The kids came out to play.
They did.
All right. Well, you guys have fun with it. You guys, the podcast is in good hands, I believe so. Anyway. All right. Oh well, that's it. How's that a way to end the show this week?
Well, I think we should end it by saying thank you to you, Mr.
Absolutely.
Lucas, for all your hard work in the last 6 years. Obviously, you're not going anywhere, but this is a chapter that's ending, and a well-deserved break for you, my friend. So, Thank you.
No problem. Well, thanks a lot for all your work. In tears, bye, Papa Luke. No, I guess I should say as well, I'm still going to be doing YouTube reviews, even though they've been a bit dry lately. I might be able to pick up a little bit more of that while I'm away, and I'll be doing Facebook and Twitter and all that sort of stuff. So still going to be around. Live streaming, I don't do much live streaming anymore. It's a time issue, but never say never. I may come back to that. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's finish up this show. Hey. Thank you very much to everyone that has listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. And that's a special thanks to you guys that are in the chat there, listening live. Thank you to you, Remutha, Snoogs and Greg, for your hard work and efforts in preparing the show. And to all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics that we've discussed on this show on our Facebook page or Discord channel. Links are in the podcast show notes and description. That's all from me. And as always, and until next time I talk to you, I am Lucas.
I'm Remutha.
I'm Grejio.
And I've been Snoogs.
Well, here we are once again at the end of this week's show. If you're still hungry for more video game content, then head over to the Aussie Gamers Express Facebook page and give us a like. We also have a heavy presence over on Twitter and YouTube, and their links are waiting for you in the podcast description. This podcast is available for your convenience through Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and more. Thanks again for listening. Catch you all on the next episode of the Aussie Gamers Express Video Game Podcast.